Hello everyone, this is JP Govind. Let us discuss about a colligative property. In that, let us discuss about experimental determination of relative lowering of vapor pressure by Oswald's Walker method. The principle used in this method, dry air is made to pass through solution, then solvent, then the air is coming out from the solvent is passed through an absorbing medium. The apparatus consists of two sets of bulbs and U-tube containing anhydrous calcium chloride. The first set of bulb A contains solution and the second set of bulb B contains solvent. The weight of the bulb A and B and calcium chloride U-tube are determined before the experiment. Here there are two sets of bulb A and there are bulb B, and this is U-tube containing anhydrous calcium chloride. These two sets of bulbs A and B and U-tube are connected together and maintained at the same temperature. The dry air is passed through the bulb A containing solution and then bulb B containing solvent. At least it is made to pass through calcium chloride U-tube. The dry air is absorbed vapor from the solution. When it is passes through solvent, it absorbs more vapors from the solvent. When it is passing through the calcium chloride U-tube containing water, vapors of air be absorbed by calcium chloride. As a result of this, the weight of the bulb A and B decreases and U-tube increases. The weights of these bulbs are determined at the end of the experiment. The amount of the vapor pressure taken up by air solution is directly proportional to vapor pressure of solution P1. The amount of vapor pressure taken up by air from solvent is directly proportional to the difference in the vapor pressure of solvent and solution, that is P0 minus P1. The amount of U-tube of vapor pressure absorbed by U-tube vapor pressure of the pure solvent P0. Loss in mass of solution is directly proportional to P2. Loss in mass of solvent is directly proportional to P0 minus P1. Gain in mass of U-tube is directly proportional to P0. The relative lowering of vapor pressure as P0 minus P1 by P0 is equals to loss in mass of product by gain in mass of calcium chloride by U2. Now, let us discuss about the osmosis and osmotic pressure. When solvent and solution are mixed or the solution of lower concentration is mixed with solution of the higher concentration, the solute and solvent particles will distribute uniformly throughout solution. Such phenomenon is called as diffusion. But when a solvent and a solution or a solution of lower concentration and solution of higher concentration are separated by semi-permeable membrane, there will be a spontaneous flow of solvent molecules from from solvent to solution or from solution of lower concentration to solution of higher concentration across semi-permeable membrane. Such phenomenon of spontaneous flow of solvent molecules from solvent to solution or from solution of lower concentration to solution of higher concentration across semi-permeable membrane is called as osmosis. The vapor pressure and chemical potential of solvent in pure state are greater than that of solvent in solution. Hence, solvent molecules will flow from solvent to solution till the vapor pressure and chemical potential both becomes equal. Now let us study what do you mean by semi-permeable membrane. These are the membranes which allow only the solvent molecules to flow through it but not the solute particles. There are naturally occurring semi-permeable membrane and artificially prepared semi-permeable membrane. The lining of the eggshell, fish bladder, pig bladder are the examples of natural semi-permeable membrane. The inorganic precipitate of copper ferrocyanide is an example of artificial semi-permeable membrane. Now let us discuss about the artificial semi-permeable membrane, how to prepare it. That is the preparation of copper ferrocyanide semi-permeable membrane electrolytically. Here in the left hand side of the page we can see the diagram where it has two electrodes, that is positive and negative, where copper ferrocyanide is placed above, where copper sulfate is dipped to the positive end and potassium ferrocyanide is dipped to the negative end. and there is a porous part with the dotted line. Let us consider a porous part which is made out of fine clay. This will have pores of uniform size. This is washed with base, acid and fine with water to remove impurities. Then it is dried so that pores must be clean and dry. Decinormal solution of copper sulfate is taken in this part. This is suspended in another container containing decinormal solution of potassium ferrocyanide. The level of the two solution must be equal. Two platinum electrodes are placed, one in copper sulfate solution which act as an anode and the other in solution of potassium ferrocyanide which act as a cathode. By passing electric current, Cu plus 2 will move towards cathode and FeCN6 minus 4 will move towards anode. Due to this movement of ions in opposite direction, somewhere in the middle of the body of the porous part, these two ions will meet to form precipitate of copper ferrocyanide. The porous part is washed and dried. Now let us discuss about osmotic pressure. Let us consider U-tube containing semi-permeable membrane. At the bottom, one limb is filled with solvent and the other limb with solution. When solvent and solution are separated by semi-permeable membrane, the phenomena of osmosis will start. The solvent molecules will flow from solvent to solution. As a result of this, the level of the solvent decreases and the level of the solution goes on increases. After some time, the level of the solution reaches constant. This indicates that the phenomenon of osmosis is stopped. This is due to the hydrostatic pressure developed on the solution by increase in its level. This hydrostatic pressure developed is responsible to stop the flow of solvent of molecules, that is osmosis. Such phenomena of osmosis can be also stopped by applying external pressure on the solution. Osmotic pressure is defined as the hydrostatic pressure developed internally or the external pressure applied on the solution which stops the phenomena of osmosis. Generally, it is the pressure required just to stop osmosis.